Well, good afternoon and welcome back to Simply Garden. And you know what? It's the busiest time of the year, Memorial Day weekend for those who are in the US, and boy, there's a lot to plant. I've been planting today. What did I do so far? Plant some butternut squash, getting ready to plant cantaloupe, getting ready to plant celery, but right now we're going to plant peppers and tomatoes. The variety here is a burpee variety by Cardinal. It's a Carnival, I'm sorry. It's just a variety of different colors here. And I do have more to go in, but they're not quite ready. So this variety is supersonic from Harris Seed, and they'll need to be staked because this is a indeterminate type of tomato. It cracks me up every time. I'm sorry, people, but it's just confusing. Determined to me would be staked, but indeterminate needs to be staked. So there we go, and peppers. But before we do that, we got a couple things we're going to take care of. Some coverings over top of some of the young lettuce to protect it from the 90-degree heat. Just as a side note, we'll probably cover that later. But back to this here, we're going to go and plant tomatoes. What I like to do is a couple things. I want to give it some more of that lime that I always like to give for tomatoes. Tomatoes end up having a blossom end rot quite often, so I like to put a nice little handful of lime, ground limestone, into each hole ahead of time, which I'll show you that. And then of course we give it a nice drink to our favorite organic Neptune Harvest fish fertilizer. Base is 2 tablespoons per gallon of water. This stuff is just marvelous. We probably go through about 5 gallons a year of that. And then later on we will do the Gardens Alive Tomatoes Alive Plus, which is for tomatoes only, and that gives a nice healthy growth. All organic, all natural ingredients. For the peppers, I basically use this here, which is our Garden Tone. The number is, hold on a second here, is 344, so not high in nitrogen, but kind of even across. And that's just a nice organic mixture again. Actually, before I planted all this, I went ahead and put some down ahead of time in the area, sprinkled it in, raked it in gently. So let's go ahead and plant some peppers and tomatoes. Come along with me. So the wall water tomatoes are doing well. They've taken off pretty good. Finally gotten some heat, so they're starting to grow. But back to this over here, we're going to get like just half a scoop in each of these holes here. Mix it in like that. This is basically just lime, pulverized lime. So just dig it in like this here. And then as far as planting tomatoes, a couple tips on tomatoes. You can plant them deeper than what they were growing, like big time, because up along here will be all little roots will come out. So I like to plant them kind of shallow on the side like this here. Like this here, and down that deep actually. And then we'll put a cutworm collar around the top here. There we go. Yeah, I like to do that pretty quick because for some reason cutworms love tomatoes. There we go. Just shove that down like that. All right, next one. Okay. And as time goes on, these will get staked. So for right now, give them a good watering. And watch out for my friendly little woodchucks like to come through too. Yes, so one day I had beautiful tomatoes growing out of there, about this big. Didn't know woodchucks like tomatoes. And sure enough, came home one day from work and they were chewed down. Boy, that was disappointing. Fortunately, in the season I had to go out and buy some plants at the local nursery. They still had them, but all right, well, we're going to go ahead and plant the peppers. And you can see I've laid out here. This is a raised bed of 6 feet by about 14 feet long. We're going to put about 16 peppers in here. Like I say, they're not all quite ready yet, but these are ready to roll, so we'll get these in here, these 4 here. I have plastic down because peppers like heat. So for right now, we're going to put 4 in here. I got a couple more I'll get later on. And let's get these in the ground. But yeah, the heat definitely helps warm up the soil quicker on the plastic. And by the way, what I used here, I just took a trash bag, slid it down the middle, down the end of the seams, and did the old edger to stick it into the soil. That's how simple it was. You've heard of the saying KISS, keep it simple, stupid? Well, for Simply Garden, keep it simple, Simply Garden. There we go. So we keep things simple and as inexpensive as possible too. Here we go. And by the way, we're seeing a lot of cutworms this year. The peas are struggling because of that. They're coming along and helping themselves. I'll just break that one apart, and we'll let this one grow a little longer back in the container. There we go. Okay. One more there. For those who know what they are, like I say, these are, it's called Carnival again, which means they have different colored peppers when they mature, which is pretty exciting. Some are yellows, reds, like a dark burgundy color almost. Good flavor. I'm not into much with hot peppers. Some people are, which is great. But we just like using for stuffed peppers in our sauces, marinara sauce. Roasting those are great. And next thing is cutworm collar. I guess I've seen a lot of cutworms this year. I don't know if it's just because of the cooler weather, but boy, they are out. So what to use these? These are basically about 2 inches by about 8 inches long, 6 inches long. You can use vanilla folders, anything cardboard, an old box that you got like, for your cereal or whatever crackers in. Those work great. Recycled, just wrap them around here. Especially in this part of the country, we're in southern New Hampshire, zone 5, we tend to have a lot of cutworms. And that keeps them from, what a cutworm is, it's like a little worm, about the size, about this long. They get pretty big, and maybe about the size of a worm, but they go in there and they wrap around the plant and they suck the juice out of the plant, cut it right off, so you come out and you find your plant on the ground. So what I do is I'll dig around the base of the plant and usually find it and squish it, of course, so it doesn't crawl off and get some other plant somewhere. Maybe someday I'll find one and I'll keep one so I can show you what it looks like. They're kind of gross looking, but it's all part of nature, part of the challenge of gardening. If you're new gardeners, I'd like to hear what you planted this year. Give me some comments, get some ideas for you. If you're struggling some things, probably the biggest struggle is going to be when it gets really hot out, is when you get out there and weed things. That's, part of the gardening. I mean, you got to keep up with things, keep it watered. It is rewarding, but you got to, focus on a little bit. I mean, as summer gets busy, some people tend to forget what they're committed to. Next is the tomatoes. This is how quick it is. And I'll finish these later on. Like I said, the other peppers need more time to grow, so we'll get those to a little bit later. But the spacing I'm using here, by the way, is about 2 feet across and about 15 to 20 inches between each plant. And because it's a raised bed, you can get them a little closer like this and put them in there. But you know what? The thing exciting about gardening to me is to be able to share it with others. Like I just gave my neighbor some lettuce. A lettuce that we planted back in middle of January is now starting to get ready to bolt. Linda, just swing around and show them real quick if you could what the lettuce looks like. And that, yes, it looks a little messy, but I've been pulling them out of there. And so it's going to get 94 degrees on Wednesday. So we want to get rid of it, so I can't eat all that. So give them to my neighbors, enjoy that. And that's kind of fun about gardening. You always grow more than what you need. But once again, don't be discouraged if the hot weather comes, plan for it. Shade cloths are great because it gives a little shade to those tender lettuce plants. And water is important. In fact, right now I'm watering right now as the peas, getting those things moving along. But once again, this is great. Simple, enjoyable, outdoors, the birds singing. What more can you ask for? And don't want to miss the next episode. Keep coming along. We got a lot more great things coming up to share with you. And looking forward to your comments below. And enjoy the rest of your day. Bye now.